Audiobook, Things You Should Never Say. By Milco Baute. Written and published in 2023. Dedicated to entrepreneurs, the defeated, the ill, the troubled, the burdened, the distressed, the exhausted, the desperate, the depressed, the worried, the anxious, and to myself, with the intention of remembering that we must control our thoughts and words in order to change and improve our surroundings or destiny. Preface. All human beings use language as a means of communication, but the words that come from our mouths have either a constructive or destructive effect on our own lives and the lives of others. We were created in the image and likeness of our Creator and Heavenly Father, but sin has separated us from Him, necessitating redemption through a salvation plan by the sacrifice of Jesus, the slaughtered Lamb. Nevertheless, we have not lost the qualities with which we were created as special creatures of higher consciousness, superior to animals. Words arise from our thoughts, and our thoughts are like a blueprint that we create for our life, and our future, or that stems from our imagination. We speak or say things just for the sake of it, repeating the same things we have heard, learned, or inherited from beliefs and traditions, most of which are erroneous because we are poorly taught, poorly trained, and poorly informed. I hope that this book of advice and information proves useful in your life. I also recommend my books, How to Live a Long and Abundant Life, and Listen to Yourself, which offer valuable teachings and advice for leading a fulfilling life. Take care of your thoughts, emotions, and words. Before speaking or declaring something with our mouths, we must be sure and alert about what we say, because these affirmations can harm, improve, or transform us. Every negative word from our mouth has a devastating effect on our body, progress, achievements, or human relationships. We must be very careful and mindful of what we speak, hear, and believe, as our thoughts and words are creating our future or transforming our surroundings. Matthew 9:23, Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Proverbs 18:21, Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs 4:23-24, Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Put away from you a deceitful mouth, and put perverse lips far from you. Proverbs 15:4, A soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Measure your words. It's important to think twice before speaking. When you open your mouth to speak, you are declaring and unleashing in the spiritual world, so it becomes a reality in the physical world. You are ordering or disordering your world or your environment, building or destroying your future, because the future begins with words. Before taking any action, think carefully about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Make a plan, because impulsive or emotional actions can lead to failure and discouragement. Failure is a lesson, and sometimes it's inevitable. What matters is that you tried, as it's better to fail while trying to succeed than to lose out of fear of failure. Whenever you set a goal or have a plan, consult with God before executing it so He can order your steps, guide you better, and make your path straight. Don't forget to say, "If God wills, I will do this or that," as this leaves it to the will of your Creator, who wants the best for you and knows what's best for you, both materially and spiritually. Limit your words. It's better to be quick to listen and slow to speak, slow to anger, James 1:19. When you're angry or someone tries to intimidate you by shouting or behaving hostilely, remain silent, and if possible, walk away. Always avoid confrontation with a fool. Proverbs 26:4-5 says, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes." Don't stoop to their level, elevate the conversation with wisdom, gentleness, grace, and elegance, as if you didn't hear what they said. If someone yells at you, respond softly. If someone insults you, smile. Offense does not exist if there is no offended party, or better yet, ignore or leave. Proverbs 27:12 says, "A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, the simple pass on and are punished." Eliminate negative words from your vocabulary, such as, I'm doing poorly, I'm broke, I don't have, I feel awful, I'm scared, I'm afraid that, I'm sick, I have such and such bad thing, I'm dying of sorrow, I can't, I don't think I can, I'm not sure, that doesn't give me confidence, I would like to, but I can't right now, I'm old, I'm seriously ill, I think I, or he, she, will die, there's nothing more I can do, that's just how it is, I don't want to lose, I'm overwhelmed, I'm depressed, that depresses me, I have high cholesterol, sugar, pressure, what I have can't be cured, mine is beyond remedy, I have cancer, a tumor, an ulcer. I don't have much time left, I won't live long, I've given everything I could, I won't live much longer, etc. Guard your thoughts. The Holy Bible advises that, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it, Proverbs 4 verse 23. Thoughts lead to words, and words build or destroy because they can transform the environment, help, uplift, heal, or save someone, your neighbor, or discourage, humiliate, frustrate, and destroy, especially children. If something bothers you or makes you angry, before responding, think, why would I say or do something I'll later regret? When you harbor negative thoughts, they create roots of bitterness. It can be family, work, emotional, or political bitterness. Negativity originates in thought, then it becomes words, and if responded to with anger or deliberately, it leads to sin, humiliation, emotional harm to others, and a poor reputation. Toxic and negative people are always thinking negatively, complaining about everything, everyone, and even themselves. Have you heard them say, why does this have to happen to me? The answer is simple, because you created it with your thoughts. You attracted the negativity you thought would go wrong, that you weren't sure about, that you didn't want to do, or that fear played a trick on you. If you think negatively, you attract negativity. If you always think positively, you will attract some good, or even better, the bad will turn out well, or you will easily recover from it. The Bible also says in Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. In the story of Job, the Bible shows how Job, despite being a holy and God-fearing man, was always thinking negatively because he feared for his adult children, fearing they wouldn't follow his example, offend their Creator, and face judgment. For the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, Job 3:25. The fear he felt was not natural, it wasn't a human reflex like fear of falling from a height, a storm, a war conflict, or a natural disaster. It was an unfounded fear, being an overprotective father. His fear was based on what the devil could do or that God might get angry and send judgment and condemnation against his children. Something that God did not do but allowed because unfounded fear is a sin, a lack of faith, as without faith, it is impossible to please God, read Hebrews 11:6-8. It was not the same fear as that of Noah, who in obedience and fear of God's warned judgments, obeyed. The Bible says that Noah walked with God and had communion with him, long before the law. Nor was it like Abraham's fear, father of faith, who obeyed God in reverent fear to leave his land and travel to an unknown destination by his God's command. Or like Jesus' own fear, who went to the cross to die for our sins, obeying in reverent fear, knowing he would be tortured and executed in a terrible way. Fear is a dart, thought, from Satan, it can be a demon, it's contagious, harmful, and destructive. I recommend reading my book, The Spirit of Fear That Dominates the World. Control your emotions. When emotion overpowers reason, many mistakes are made. Emotions can lead us to negativity, stress, create bitterness in the heart, depression, and rejection. Not only rejection of others but also rejection of others towards you. As I mentioned earlier, my parents were already separated when I was born, in fact, my father already had another woman in his life. This affected my mother so much that, as she told me, she tried to abort me several times, not with medical intervention because she was already more than 6 months pregnant, but through physical blows and falls. My mother was deeply affected by the separation, and not in vain because I was her third child with my father, who left her with 2 small children and pregnancy. I don't blame her, and in fact, I had to forgive her to rid myself of the curse and rejection she made me feel before I was even born. Without seeing me or knowing me, she wanted to practically kill me. So, I forgave her, not only for her sake but for mine. A child, even before birth, feels everything that happens in their environment and perceives all their mother's emotions, which affect them not only as a child but as an adult. For a long time, I felt that people rejected me, and this wasn't just a simple assumption or complex. People genuinely rejected me because my mother had attracted that curse upon me. I clarify that I wasn't born deformed or with disabilities, but the self-induced suggestion that my mother created in me led me to become a victim of rejection and feel rejected. Emotions are also contagious, especially when they are genetic, as we inherit a lot from our parents, although over time we can become totally different from them. If you're a pregnant woman, I implore you for your own good and that of your baby to take care of your emotions, as pregnant women undergo constant emotional changes that can affect the baby. If you've already given birth, you understand what I'm saying, and if you're a man, a father, or about to become one, you know that you should treat the mother of your baby with great patience, delicacy, and sweetness. Don't impose yourself, don't shout, don't argue. If you've endured before, endure even more now because in a partnership, one of you has to give in, and that should be the man. I'm not saying you should do something wrong just because she wants it. Everything has its limits, and I hope for your sake she's not a wicked woman. Scripture says in Ephesians 5:22-30, "Wives, submit to your own husbands, as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. So, husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. We are what we think, feel, and speak. We have untapped potential within us. We are not just matter in the midst of space, we are creatures, made a little lower than the angels. The only difference is the dimension in which we operate because we are confined to matter, the visible world, the physical world, limited by time and space. We dwell within a body that is merely the vehicle we use on earth, subject to physical laws like gravity. However, understand that we have been created in the image and likeness of our Almighty Creator, the God who made the heavens, the earth, the universe, or the universes. This hidden potential resides in our minds. We can achieve anything we set our minds to because we are the product of our minds. We can succeed despite obstacles and setbacks we encounter in life, all for personal growth, maturity, gaining experience, and confidence. We are the product of our minds, and to those who believe everything is possible, as stated in Matthew 9:23. Through prayer, a means of connecting with our Creator, not with vain repetitions or recitations, but with our own sincere and grateful words, and trusting our lives to Him daily and trusting that He is in control of the universe and all creation. Believing that what is harmful to us must fade away, that doors that need to be closed will close, and doors that need to open will open. Living each day by faith and not by sight, allowing Him through His Spirit to guide us. This is much better for us in this fast, fleeting, and limited life we live, to live abundantly in the Spirit and let ourselves be used by God for good. Remember that life is in the Spirit, and the Spirit is in the mind. God recommends that we be transformed by the renewing of our minds, not to dwell on wandering thoughts, not to entertain doubt, fear, helplessness, frustration, or weakness, but to live by faith and utilize the potential in our minds and words. Because words have power, they have a constructive and destructive effect. We must first guard our thoughts because they attract either good or bad things, which lead to words. We must watch our declarations and expressions. Guard against hatred and negativity. Do not dwell on the problem, seek the solution and share it with others. We have to watch not only what we eat but also what we speak, because words can be toxic too, contaminating the soul and poisoning the body. We must channel what we feel, hear, perceive from the world, and what we experience daily through a filter of human reason, all those toxic, harmful, and damaging things. This is essential not only for mental health but also for emotional well-being, soul tranquility, and spiritual peace. In the world, there is much hatred because it is promoted by the media, politicians, and influential people. This generates more evil, more violence, more distortion, damages human relationships, peace, and harmony in society. It's all because of trying to impose their ideas or ideology, disagreeing and not accepting others' opinions and decisions. But we must be prudent and remain silent, when necessary, not responding to verbal aggression, and not allowing ourselves to be filled with hatred for any reason, as this creates roots of bitterness that gradually destroy us. Stress, anxiety, and fear of events, circumstances, and the world we live in can mentally and emotionally affect us. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it, Proverbs 4 verse 23. Seek peace and avoid confrontations and debates with stubborn, contentious, or morally and verbally destructive people. This will help you maintain emotional peace and harmony with God, the universe, and your fellow human beings. Remember that offense only exists if there is an offended party. Sometimes it is better to remain silent and withdraw before getting involved in a debate, discussion, or the enemy's trap. Do not give the devil a foothold by responding to offense. Bless the fool, the aggressor, and leave them with their words in their mouth. And if you know people who, due to their complexes or difficult and complicated character, would not accept advice, leave them be. Let them fall and learn from their mistakes. Always pray for them so that God may touch them and have mercy on them, because nothing will change by talking to them, warning them, or advising them if God doesn't deal with them first. I'm sure you know people like that, and it's a shame, but a tree that is born and grows crooked will never straighten its trunk. The longer a person has lived with such an attitude and habits, the harder it is for them to recognize their mistake, their wrongdoing, their problem, and change. It is impossible to prevent others from thinking and speaking ill of you, but it is possible to ignore them. Milco Baute. We all face difficulties, situations, and battles every day, and sometimes we have to lose a battle without losing the war because the battle belongs to our God. He shelters us, protects us, guides us, and fights for us in the spiritual realm. That's why living with faith is necessary in today's hostile and negative world. Therefore, my dear friends, do not let the world poison you. The power of words. The power of language is immense. The words we speak and the thoughts we articulate have the potential to shape our reality and influence our experiences. When we consistently speak negatively or affirm negative things like problems, situations, or illnesses, it can have significant consequences on our mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Impact on mental health. The language we use can have a profound impact on our mental health. When we focus on speaking negatively or constantly affirming problems and negative situations, we are nurturing a mindset of pessimism and hopelessness. These thought patterns can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and depression. Furthermore, negative language can reinforce limiting beliefs about our capabilities and make it difficult to overcome challenges. Influence on emotions. Negative words have the power to generate negative emotions. When we consistently speak in a pessimistic manner or affirm negative situations, we are sending a message to our brain that the world is a hostile and unfavorable place. This can lead to an emotional state of sadness, anger, frustration, or helplessness. These negative emotions can affect our quality of life and personal relationships, as we may transmit and project these emotions onto our surroundings. Effect on physical well-being. Negative language can also impact our physical well-being. Numerous studies have shown that chronic stress and negative emotions can negatively affect our immune system, increasing susceptibility to illnesses and delaying recovery. Additionally, chronic stress associated with negative language can contribute to sleep problems, headaches, digestive issues, and other physical symptoms. Creation of self-imposed realities. Negative language can influence how we perceive and experience the world. When we constantly talk about problems and affirm negative situations, we may be creating a self-imposed reality in which we only see and focus on the negative. This can limit our ability to find solutions, opportunities, and positive aspects in our lives. Furthermore, negative language can reinforce the belief that we have no control over our circumstances, preventing us from taking action and seeking positive changes. Impact on interpersonal relationships. Negative language can have a detrimental effect on our relationships with others. When we constantly speak negatively or affirm problems and negative situations, we can transmit negative energy to the people around us. This can lead to conflicts, communication difficulties, and emotional distancing in our relationships. Additionally, negative language can affect our ability to empathize and understand others, creating a negative dynamic in our social interactions. Self-fulfilling negative prophecies. Negative language can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we constantly speak negatively or affirm problems and illnesses, we can condition our minds and bodies to manifest those circumstances. Our perceptions and actions align with our words, leading us to act in ways that attract and perpetuate the negative situations we have affirmed. Limitation of creativity and problem solving. Negative language can restrict our ability to find creative solutions and solve problems. When we focus on speaking negatively about problems and difficulties, we limit ourselves to conventional and pessimistic approaches. This prevents us from exploring new perspectives, discovering hidden opportunities, and thinking innovatively. Negative language can block our creativity and limit our options for overcoming the challenges we face. Missed opportunities and personal growth. When we speak negatively or constantly affirm negative situations, we limit our potential for personal growth and miss out on opportunities. Negative language can create a victim mentality in which we feel powerless and out of control over our circumstances. This prevents us from actively seeking solutions, learning from experiences, and seizing growth and personal development opportunities. Additionally, negative language can push positive people and opportunities away from our lives. Impact on the social environment. Negative language can have a negative impact on our social environment. Our words and attitudes can influence the people around us, creating an environment filled with negative energy. This can affect group dynamics, create tensions, and contribute to an unfavorable social climate. Additionally, negative language can influence how we are perceived by others, affecting our relationships and opportunities in both personal and professional settings. Negative language can undermine our self-esteem and erode our self-confidence. By speaking negatively to ourselves or constantly affirming problems and limitations, we feed self-destructive beliefs and devalue our self-worth. This can lead to feelings of insecurity, low self-esteem, and a lack of confidence in our abilities and capabilities. Additionally, negative language can hinder goal setting and goal achievement, as we convince ourselves that we are not capable or deserving of success. In conclusion, the language we use has a profound impact on our lives. When we speak negatively or constantly affirm negative things like problems, situations, or illnesses, we create a reality in which adverse circumstances are perpetuated. This affects our mental, emotional, and physical health, limits our personal growth, weakens our relationships, and undermines our self-esteem and confidence. It is essential to be aware of the power of our words and choose positive and constructive language that allows us to develop, face challenges with determination, and live a fuller and more rewarding life. In summary, speaking negatively or affirming negative things like problems, situations, or illnesses has significant consequences in multiple aspects of our lives. Negative language can affect our mental health, causing stress, anxiety, and depression. It also influences our emotions, leading to feelings of sadness, anger, or frustration. Additionally, it has an impact on our physical well-being, weakening our immune system and contributing to physical symptoms. Negative language can create a self-imposed reality in which we only see the negative and find it difficult to identify solutions and opportunities. It also affects our interpersonal relationships, causing conflicts and communication difficulties. Furthermore, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, as our words condition our mind and body to manifest the negative circumstances we have affirmed. Speaking negatively limits our creativity and problem-solving ability, preventing us from finding innovative solutions and personal growth opportunities. It can also lead to missed opportunities and push positive people and situations away. Negative language affects the social environment, creating a negative atmosphere and influencing how we are perceived by others, impacting our personal and professional relationships and opportunities. Ultimately, negative language undermines our self-esteem and confidence, making it difficult to set and achieve goals. Therefore, it is crucial to be aware of the power of language and choose to speak positively and constructively. By doing so, we can improve our mental health, strengthen our relationships, enhance our physical well-being, foster personal growth, and live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Positive language allows us to see opportunities instead of problems, generate positive emotions, and build a reality in which we can reach our full potential. The power of thought, exploring the potential of the mind. Since time immemorial, the power of thought has been recognized as a force that can significantly influence our lives. Though intangible, thought has the capacity to shape our perceptions, emotions, and actions, and can have a profound impact on our reality. In this article, we will delve into how the power of thought works and how we can harness it to achieve our goals and live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Thought is the process through which we process information, generate ideas, create mental images, and evaluate situations. It is an intrinsic and ongoing activity in our lives, even when we are not conscious of it. Our thoughts are composed of images, words, emotions, and beliefs and can be conscious or unconscious. It's important to note that our thoughts are not mere mental abstractions but have the potential to manifest in physical reality. Science has increasingly begun to explore and understand the power of thought. Neuroscience, in particular, has revealed that our thoughts have an impact on the structure and functioning of our brain. Through techniques like functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, researchers have demonstrated that our thoughts can activate different areas of the brain, which in turn influences our emotions and behaviors. A fundamental aspect of the power of thought is the law of attraction. According to this law, our predominant thoughts and emotions attract experiences and circumstances that are in harmony with them. In other words, what we consistently think and feel tends to manifest in our reality. If we focus on positive thoughts and elevated emotions, we will attract positive situations and favorable outcomes. Conversely, if we concentrate on negative thoughts and limiting emotions, we will attract unfavorable experiences. How we think can influence our perception of the world and how we relate to it. Our thoughts act as filters that shape our reality. For example, if we believe we are not good enough to achieve success, we are likely to perceive obstacles instead of opportunities and self-sabotage our path to achievement. On the other hand, if we have thoughts of confidence and belief in our abilities, we will be more open to opportunities and proactive in pursuing our goals. In addition to influencing our perception, the power of thought also affects our emotions. Our thoughts trigger a cascade of emotional responses, whether positive or negative. If we constantly think about negative things or focus on what we lack, we are likely to experience emotions such as sadness, anxiety, or frustration. Conversely, if we cultivate positive thoughts and focus on what we appreciate and value in our lives, we are more likely to experience emotions like joy, gratitude, and confidence. The power of thought also extends to our actions and behaviors. Our thoughts influence our decisions and how we behave in various situations. If we believe we are capable of achieving something, we will feel motivated and take steps to attain it. On the other hand, if we have negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, we are likely to feel unmotivated and not put in enough effort to achieve our goals. Furthermore, the power of thought can also affect our health and well-being. Scientific studies have shown that negative thoughts and chronic stress can have a detrimental impact on our immune system, increasing susceptibility to illnesses. Conversely, positive and optimistic thoughts are associated with better health and greater longevity. So, how can we harness the power of thought to improve our lives? Cultivate awareness. The first step is to be aware of our thoughts. Observe your thought patterns and ask yourself if they are positive, constructive, and aligned with your goals and values. If you discover negative or limiting thoughts, work on changing them. Practice positive thinking, cultivate an optimistic mindset and seek the positive side of situations. Focus on your strengths, accomplishments, and things you are grateful for. Nourish your mind with positive affirmations and visualizations of your goals. Challenge limiting beliefs, identify and question negative beliefs that may be limiting your potential. Examine whether these beliefs are backed by real evidence or are simply products of fear or insecurity. Work on replacing limiting beliefs with more positive and empowering ones. Practice creative visualization. Use the technique of creative visualization to vividly imagine your goals and objectives as if you have already achieved them. Visualize yourself experiencing success and emotionally connect with that desired outcome. This can help you maintain a positive and focused mindset. Surround yourself with positive thoughts. The environment you are in can influence your thoughts. Seek companies and environments that promote a positive mindset. Surround yourself with optimistic and motivating people and consume inspiring and motivational content. Practice gratitude. Cultivate the habit of acknowledging and appreciating positive things in your life. Keep a gratitude journal and write down things you are grateful for each day. This will help you focus on the positive and generate thoughts of abundance and contentment. Be mindful of the language you use. Pay attention to the words you use, both in your thoughts and conversations. Avoid negative and limiting language and choose words that reflect your intentions and goals positively. Practice self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your thoughts and emotions. Analyze how your thoughts may be influencing your actions and results. Adjust your thoughts and approaches if necessary and work on developing a more positive and constructive mindset. Set clear goals. Define clear and specific goals for yourself. Establish an action plan and maintain a positive focus on the process of achieving those goals. Use your thoughts to visualize your success and stay motivated on your path to your objectives. Practice meditation and mindfulness. Meditation and mindfulness can help calm your mind and be more present in the current moment. These practices allow you to observe your thoughts without judgment and give you the ability to shift your focus towards more positive and constructive thoughts. It's important to remember that the power of thought is not a magical solution to all life's challenges. However, cultivating a positive mindset and harnessing the power of thought can make a significant difference in how we approach situations, relate to others, and pursue our dreams. In summary, the power of thought is a potent force that can influence our reality, emotions, actions, and outcomes. By being aware of our thoughts and cultivating a positive mindset, we can enhance our quality of life, achieve our goals, and live more fully and satisfactorily. Remember that your thoughts have the power to shape your reality, so choose thoughts that empower and propel you toward success and happiness. The mind, thoughts, and words, a journey through the power of communication. The human mind is a fascinating universe filled with potential and possibilities. It is the epicenter of our experiences, thoughts, and emotions. Through the mind, we shape our reality and communicate with the world around us. In this article, we will delve into the intricate world of the mind, thought, and words, exploring their connection and the transformative power of communication. The mind is the center of consciousness and cognition. It is the faculty that enables us to perceive, think, reason, and remember. It is a complex system composed of different processes and functions that work together to process information and generate responses. One of the highlights of the mind is its capacity for thought. Thought is the process through which we generate ideas, reflect on concepts, form judgments, and make decisions. It is a constant and uninterrupted activity in our lives, even when we are not aware of it. Thought can be both conscious and unconscious. Conscious thoughts are those of which we are fully aware and can deliberately direct and control. On the other hand, unconscious thoughts are those that arise automatically and often influence our emotions and behaviors without us realizing it. Our thoughts are powerful. They have the power to shape our perceptions and emotions, and to influence our actions and outcomes. Our thoughts act as filters through which we interpret the world. If our thoughts are negative, our reality is clouded by that negativity. Conversely, if we cultivate positive and constructive thoughts, we experience a more positive and enriching reality. The relationship between the mind and words is intimate and complex. Words are the vehicle through which we express our thoughts and emotions. They are tools of communication that allow us to convey ideas, share experiences, and connect with others. Words have extraordinary power. They can heal or hurt, build or destroy, inspire or discourage. Words have the ability to generate intense emotions and create vivid mental images. They can change our way of seeing the world and affect our reality. When we use words consciously and deliberately, we can create a positive impact on ourselves and others. Words of encouragement, support, and gratitude can strengthen relationships, uplift spirits, and foster a sense of connection in community. Words of love and affection can nourish the spirit and nurture the most intimate relationships. On the other hand, negative and hurtful words can cause profound emotional harm and generate conflicts and resentments. Words of criticism and contempt can undermine self-esteem and erode self-confidence. That's why it's essential to choose our words with care and consideration and be aware of the impact they can have on others. But they not only affect others, our own words also have a significant impact on our own minds and well-being. How we talk to ourselves, the inner dialogue we maintain, can influence our self-image, self-confidence, and self-perception. If we constantly repeat negative and self-critical words, we nurture a self-destructive and limiting mindset. Our mind internalizes those words and turns them into deeply rooted beliefs that shape our view of ourselves and our abilities. Conversely, if we cultivate a positive and loving inner dialogue, we nurture an empowering and growth-oriented mindset. We encourage ourselves, give ourselves permission to make mistakes and learn to value our strengths and accomplishments. The choice of words can also influence how we approach life's challenges and difficulties. If we use words like problem or failure, we place ourselves in a mindset of defeat and hopelessness. Instead, if we use words like challenge or learning opportunity, we open ourselves to the possibility of finding solutions and growing from those experiences. It's important to note that our words not only reflect our thoughts and emotions but also have the power to influence them. When we express our thoughts and emotions through words, we are giving shape and structure to those internal experiences. In this way, words can be a vehicle for processing our emotions and finding clarity and understanding. Furthermore, the language we use can affect how others perceive and relate to us. Our words have the power to build bridges or erect barriers in our social interactions. Choosing positive, respectful, and empathetic language can foster connection, understanding, and mutual empathy. To harness the transformative power of words, it's important to develop greater awareness of how we communicate with ourselves and others. Some practices that can help us use words more effectively include: practice active listening, mindfully pay attention to others' words and respond thoughtfully and compassionately. Cultivate empathy, strive to understand and connect with others' experiences and emotions through your words. Be mindful of nonverbal language. Remember that our words are not just what we say but also how we say them and our gestures and facial expressions. Reflect before speaking. Take a moment to reflect on your words before expressing them, considering how they may affect others and yourself. Use positive affirmations. Practice using positive affirmations and words of encouragement to reinforce a positive and constructive mindset in yourself and others. Practice assertive communication, express your needs, desires, and boundaries clearly and respectfully, avoiding aggression or passivity in communication. Avoid negative and critical language, recognizing that our words have power. We should avoid using negative and critical words that can harm others or ourselves. Instead, we can opt for constructive and supportive words. Practice gratitude and recognition, express words of gratitude and recognition towards others, strengthening relationships and creating a positive environment. Be aware of the impact of your words, recognize that your words can have a lasting effect on people and situations and choose to use them responsibly and consciously. Cultivate clarity and precision, use clear and precise words in your communication so that your ideas are easily understood, and misunderstandings are avoided. The mind, thought, and words are interconnected elements that influence and shape our reality and relationships. By developing greater awareness and skill in their use, we can harness their transformative power and build a more fulfilling and meaningful life. In conclusion, our minds are powerful tools that enable us to think, reason, and communicate through words. Our thoughts and the words we choose have the power to influence our reality, our emotions, and our relationships. Therefore, it is essential to be aware of how we use our minds and our words to cultivate more effective, positive, and respectful communication. By doing so, we can create a positive impact on ourselves and others, building a more enriching and harmonious reality. Always remember the power that lies in our minds and our words and use them wisely for personal and collective well-being and transformation. Thoughts and words in the Bible. Thoughts. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinks within himself, so he is. He says to you, eat and drink. But his heart is not with you. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Isaiah 26:3. You keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Matthew 15:19. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander. Psalm 139:23-24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. 1 Chronicles 28:9. And you, Solomon my son, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and with a willing mind, for the Lord searches all hearts and understands every plan and thought. If you seek him, he will be found by you, but if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Colossians 3:2. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. These verses teach us the importance of having thoughts centered on God, truth, and what is good and pleasing in His eyes. They also exhort us to renew our understanding and to be cautious of negative or impure thoughts that may arise in our hearts. By keeping our thoughts in line with God's will, we will experience His peace and guidance at all times. Words. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Proverbs 15:4. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Matthew 12:36-37. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak, for by your words you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. Proverbs 12:18. There is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. James 3:5. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. Psalm 141:3. Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth, keep watch over the door of my lips. Proverbs 13:3. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life, he who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Proverbs 16:24. Gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. These verses teach us that words have significant power, and we must be careful with what we say. Our words can have both positive and negative effects, so it's important to use them wisely. We should avoid corrupt, hurtful, or deceitful words and instead seek to build up and give grace to others through our speech. They also remind us to be mindful of our words since we will be judged by them. Our tongue can be a source of life and healing, or it can cause harm and destruction. Therefore, we must guard our words, speak with grace and wisdom, and use our words for blessing and encouragement to those around us. The law of attraction: how to manifest your desires and create the reality you want. The law of attraction is a concept that has gained popularity in recent years, based on the premise that you can attract into your life that you focus your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. According to this law, everything in the universe is composed of energy, and your thoughts and emotions emit a vibration that draws experiences and circumstances in alignment with that vibration. In this chapter, we will delve deeply into the law of attraction and how you can use it to manifest your desires and create the reality you want. You will learn the fundamental principles of this law, practices to apply it in your life, and keys to enhance its effectiveness. The principles of the law of attraction. The law of attraction is based on three fundamental principles. The principle of attraction: like attracts like. This means that your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs attract experiences and circumstances into your life that are in harmony with them. If you focus on negative thoughts and emotions, you will attract more negative situations. If you concentrate on positive thoughts and emotions, you will attract more positive situations. The principle of vibration: everything in the universe is composed of energy, and each thought and emotion has a specific vibration. Your thoughts and emotions emit a vibrational frequency that attracts experiences and circumstances in alignment with that vibration. The principle of conscious creation: you are a conscious creator of your reality. Through your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, you have the power to create the reality you desire. You are in control and can use the law of attraction consciously to manifest your desires. How to apply the law of attraction in your life. To effectively use the law of attraction, it is essential to follow certain practices and techniques. Clarity in your desires: clearly define what you wish to manifest in your life. Be specific and detailed in your desires. Visualize what it would be like to have them and connect with the positive emotions that manifestation would generate. Focus on the positive, direct your attention toward what you want to attract rather than dwelling on what you don't want. Keep your thoughts and emotions aligned with your desires and avoid negativity and complaining. Positive affirmations: use positive and powerful affirmations that support your desires. Repeat them daily and feel them with conviction. These affirmations help reprogram your mind and align your thoughts with your desires. Creative visualization: employ creative visualization to vividly imagine what it would be like to have your desires manifested. Create clear and detailed mental images and feel as if you already have them. Visualization helps send a clear signal to the universe about what you want to attract into your life. Gratitude: practice gratitude daily. Give thanks for all the good you already have in your life and for what you are about to receive. Gratitude helps maintain a positive attitude and attracts more blessings into your life. Behave and act as if your desires have already manifested. This helps generate the necessary emotions and vibrations to attract them. Act with confidence and faith that your desires are on their way. Detachment. While it is essential to visualize and desire your goals, it is also crucial to practice detachment. Do not cling too tightly to the outcomes and avoid anxiety or obsession. Trust that the universe is working in your favor and release your desires with faith. Inspired action. The law of attraction is not just about thinking and feeling but also involves taking action. Be open to opportunities and take inspired actions that bring you closer to your desires. Listen to your intuition and follow the necessary steps to manifest your dreams. Keys to enhance the law of attraction. In addition to the practices mentioned above, certain keys can enhance the effectiveness of the law of attraction. Self-awareness. Deeply know yourself. Identify limiting beliefs, fears, and blocks that may hinder your manifestations. Work on releasing them and replacing them with positive and empowering beliefs. Confidence and faith. Maintain an attitude of confidence and faith that your desires will manifest at the right time. Believe in yourself and in the power of the universe to support you in your manifestations. Persistence and consistency. Maintain a persistent and consistent attitude in your law of attraction practice. Do not give up in the face of challenges and continue working on your manifestations despite apparent delays or setbacks. Support groups and group visualization. Participating in support groups or group visualization sessions can be beneficial. Collective energy and mutual support can enhance your manifestations and strengthen your faith in the law of attraction. Self-love and self-care. Cultivate self-love and take time to care for yourself. The more you value and love yourself, the easier it is to manifest your desires and attract positive experiences in your life. Acceptance and flow. Accept that results may manifest differently than expected. Stay open and flexible to the blessings the universe has for you, even if they do not precisely match your initial expectations. In conclusion, the law of attraction is a powerful tool for manifesting your desires and creating the life you want. By focusing on positive thoughts and emotions, visualizing your desires, taking inspired action, and trusting the process, you can attract experiences and circumstances in line with your vibrations and create a life full of abundance and happiness. Remember that you are a conscious creator of your reality and that you have the power to influence your circumstances through your thoughts and emotions. The practice of the law of attraction requires commitment, patience, and perseverance. You may not see instant results, but with time and dedication, you will begin to notice changes in your life. Maintain a positive mindset and trust that the universe is always working in your favor. However, it is also important to remember that the law of attraction is not a magical solution to all life's problems. You cannot simply wish for something to happen and expect it to come true without effort. The law of attraction works in conjunction with your everyday actions and decisions. It is necessary to take inspired actions and be willing to face challenges and overcome obstacles on the path to manifesting your desires. Furthermore, it is essential to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and appreciation for what you already have in your life. By being grateful for present blessings, you are opening space to attract even more positive things to you. Gratitude helps maintain a positive mindset and recognize the opportunities and blessings around you. Remember that the law of attraction is a potent tool, but it is not intended to control or manipulate others. You cannot influence the decisions or actions of people through this law. Instead, the law of attraction focuses on your own reality and how you can attract positive experiences and circumstances into your life. In summary, the law of attraction is a powerful universal law that states that we attract into our lives what we think, feel, and believe. By using the principles and practices of this law, you can manifest your desires and create the life you want. Remember to be clear in your desires, focus on the positive, use affirmations and visualizations, take inspired action, and maintain an attitude of gratitude. With dedication and faith, you can unleash the power within you and create a reality filled with success, abundance, and happiness. Allow yourself to experience the transformative power of the law of attraction and discover the unlimited potential you have to create the life of your dreams. The power within you, awakening your potential and achieving greatness. We all possess an innate power within us, a force that drives us to grow, evolve, and achieve extraordinary things. Throughout history, we have witnessed individuals demonstrate their ability to transform the world through their determination, passion, and self-belief. In this article, we will explore the power within you and how you can awaken it to achieve greatness in all areas of your life. The power within you is not something external or foreign to you but rather something intrinsic and personal. It is a combination of your unique talents, abilities, passions, and values that distinguish you as an individual. It is that inner spark that propels you forward, helps you overcome obstacles, and drives you to pursue your dreams. However, at times, this powerful force may lie dormant or underestimated due to various factors such as fear, doubt, lack of confidence, or self-imposed limitations. But it's essential to remember that the power within you knows no bounds, it only needs to be awakened and nurtured. How can you awaken the power within you? Here are some key principles. Self-awareness. The first step in awakening your inner power is to know yourself deeply. Reflect on your strengths, weaknesses, passions, values, and purpose. Recognize your unique talents and abilities. The more you know yourself, the better you can leverage your strengths and overcome your limitations. Empowering beliefs. Your beliefs have a significant impact on your inner power. Identify and challenge limiting beliefs that hinder your growth and limit your full potential. Cultivate empowering beliefs that drive you to believe in yourself, your capabilities, and your unlimited possibilities. Self-confidence. Confidence is a key factor in awakening your inner power. Believe in your ability to face challenges and overcome obstacles. Acknowledge your past achievements and use those moments of success as evidence of your power and capacity to succeed in the future. Visualization and focus. Use visualization to clearly see your goals and objectives. Imagine in detail how you would feel upon achieving them. Keep your focus on these images and let them inspire and propel you into action. Courageous decision-making. Your inner power manifests through your actions. Dare to make bold and courageous decisions that bring you closer to your goals. Learn to trust your intuition and take calculated risks to expand your boundaries and discover new possibilities. Persistence and resilience. The path to greatness is not always easy. There will be obstacles, challenges, and moments of failure. However, your inner power is strengthened through persistence and resilience. Learn to rise every time you fall, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward with determination and strength. Personal development, personal growth and continuous learning are fundamental to awakening your inner power. Seek development opportunities in areas that interest and challenge you. Read inspiring books, attend conferences, take courses, and surround yourself with people who inspire you and drive you to grow. Self-care. To awaken and maintain your inner power, it's essential to take care of yourself on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Prioritize your well-being, ensure you get enough rest, nourish your body, engage in regular exercise, and dedicate time to activities that bring you joy and peace. Support network. You are not alone on this journey to awaken your inner power. Seek a support network that provides you with the encouragement, support, and inspiration you need to achieve your goals. Share your dreams and challenges with people who believe in you and motivate you to keep moving forward. Gratitude and generosity. Gratitude and generosity are powerful forces that can amplify your inner power. Be thankful for what you have in your life and share your talents and resources with others. By doing so, you connect with a positive energy that strengthens your inner power and enables you to make a positive impact on the world around you. Remember, the power within you is unique and extraordinary. There is no one else in the world with your talents, abilities, and perspectives. Awaken that power, embrace your uniqueness, and allow it to shine in all its glory. Do not limit yourself to fears or doubts, instead, trust in your ability to create a life filled with meaning, purpose, and success. In summary, The power within you is an internal force that propels you to grow, evolve, and achieve great things. Awakening it requires self-awareness, self-confidence, visualization, courageous decision-making, persistence, and resilience. It also involves self-care, building a support network, practicing gratitude, and generosity. Remember that you have the power to achieve greatness in all areas of your life. Harness that power, embrace your uniqueness, and create an extraordinary life. The power within you is limitless. Things you should never say. It is necessary to eliminate all negativity from our speech and learn to communicate, starting with the word no. I have always taught others to learn to say no to avoid committing to something they cannot fulfill, because it's better not to promise than to promise and not deliver. But now I am learning and teaching others to try not to use that word because it conveys negativity, something unattainable, impossible, or improbable. It's preferable to use other words that mean the same thing. After all, we have the blessing of communicating in a language rich in vocabulary, so let's speak the language of Cervantes or learn to speak like Shakespeare. Before saying, I can't, say, I see it as improbable, I doubt it's possible, forgive me, it's not possible for me to help you, I would like to help you, but that's difficult to happen. The same goes for, I don't want, you can use similar sentences. It's also not necessary to say yes to everything and commit your word, which will lose its moral and ethical value when not fulfilled. Therefore, I advise you to think very carefully before speaking or promising. You can refuse to say yes by telling them you'll think about it or consider it and then let them know, in a polite way and to avoid hurting feelings, even if you don't respond later, as silence is, in itself, response. Or you can simply use the same words I recommended before saying, I can't, I don't want, or an outright, no. Furthermore, you can replace, I don't have, with, I lack, or, at the moment, I'm without. What I mean by this is that we should try to use, no, as little as possible. The same goes for, I don't like, I shouldn't, etc. You can find other words that convey the same meaning without using, no. Other words or statements you should eliminate from your speech include, I'm unwell. I'm in serious condition. I feel unwell. I'm sick. The doctor diagnosed me with. I have such and such disease. I was born with this problem. I am, because my mother/father was. I inherited this illness from my mother/father. My illness is hereditary. It's likely I also have such a disease because I inherited it, or because I have the symptoms. I'm poor. I don't have money. I was born poor. I'm sure to get fired. I can't find a job. There are no jobs. I won't be able to achieve it. I'm not like that person. I learned something else. I don't know how to do that. That's impossible for me. I lack the ability. I don't have a degree in. I'm not good at. I'm really bad at. I'm not cut out for that. That makes me sick. That weakens me. I'm very tired. I lack a lot of energy. I don't know about the topic. Nobody likes me/I'm not liked. My children/spouse rejects me. Nobody appreciates. I'm not considered. They don't need me. They're mean to me. I'm not taken into account. They hate me. My spouse/child hates me. I'm not encouraging you to tell lies, hide the truth from those you shouldn't, trust in yourself, or dream of uncertain or impossible things, or deny your reality. However, for example, if you're sick, nobody needs to know except God, who already knows. Still, it's important to remind Him through prayer, as a way to draw closer to Him and trust in Him. But affirming negative things, even if true, won't help you at all. On the contrary, lying to your mind by affirming the opposite, the positive, and what you want, even if you don't see or feel it in your body, is a way to control your mind and force your brain to take control of your entire body. Or attract all the good things God has prepared for those who love Him. Always think positively because thoughts become words, and words become actions. Your words bind you and can make you sick, destroy you, or lead you to failure. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Philippians 4:8. Therefore, declare yourself healthy, strong, prosperous, capable, responsible, worthy, intelligent, and successful. If you lack intelligence or wisdom to do something, to understand, learn, explain, or discern, ask God, who won't deny you. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James 1:5. The same goes if you lack strength, energy, health, time, desire, etc. And I tell you, Jesus ask, and it will be given to you, seek, and you will find, knock, and the door will be opened to you. Luke 11:9-10. The Holy Bible is full of promises of health, provision, protection, abundance, victories, and successes for those who believe and live according to God's will. But it also contains curses for those who do not believe or are the children of disobedience, those who live according to their own reasoning rather than God's calling. If you don't believe, I won't judge you, and this material isn't religiously focused. I only advise you to entrust yourself to God, whom you can only know through His holy word. We must call things that are not as though they were and refrain from thinking badly of others and ourselves. With this, I'm not advising you to trust anyone, because it is written, "Cursed is the one who trusts in man." Jeremiah 17:5. Remember that God thinks better of you than you think of yourself. He has great and hidden things prepared for you. 1 Corinthians 2:9, Jeremiah 33:3. He is the one who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies, Psalm 103:4. If you have a habit of speaking negatively, start changing the way you speak and declare favorable, beautiful, healthy, dignified, and positive things with your mouth. Try to change your attitude toward others. Even though you shouldn't trust them, you also shouldn't hate them or speak negatively about everything they do or the kind of person they are. We must be careful about what we think and say about others or to others because negativity and bitterness start in the mind and heart, which will keep us on edge and can even affect our health and progress. Avoid saying things like those mentioned above about someone else toward you. Instead, pray for those who don't act or do good or have ill intentions. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. The end. Author's biography. Milco Baute Lopez, a Cuban writer, editor, and educator of international acclaim, has woven a fascinating trajectory over the decades. His pen, infused with passion and creativity, has been a beacon of knowledge and artistic expression since 1992 when he began enlightening the world with his insightful articles. The most significant chapter of his life was written on December 10, 1995, when Milco crossed borders and oceans to settle in the United States. This land of opportunities became his new home, and in 2001, with a profound sense of belonging, he embraced U.S. citizenship, merging his Cuban roots with his love for cultural diversity. The pursuit of knowledge and wisdom has always been a constant in Milco's life. This passionate autodidact, eager to nourish his intellect, embarked on a remarkable academic journey. He studied philosophy through an online course offered by the University of Edinburgh in the United Kingdom, and in 2016, he successfully completed his academic journey, becoming a graduate of this venerable institution. Milco Baute is not only an accomplished writer but also a prolific author. From 2008 to the present, he has given life to more than 90 books, showcasing his literary talent in both English and Spanish. In addition to his personal work, Milco plays a pivotal role in the publishing industry as an editor, writer, and distributor, collaborating with other authors to bring their stories to the world. One cannot fully grasp the rich palette of Milco's experiences without mentioning his technical background as a graduate in Cuba in 1986 as a technician in electrical power systems. This distinguished profession led him to practice his craft with skill for over 2 decades before his passion for writing and education led him down new paths. In summary, the life of Milco Baute Lopez is a symphony of creativity, perseverance, and dedication. His journey from the Cuban shores to the borders of the United States, through academic exploration and prolific literary production, is a testament to his unwavering spirit and commitment to cultural enrichment and knowledge in all its forms. Audiobook created by Baute Production Publisher. Tampa, Florida, United States of America. Telephone number, 813-693-8879. Email, authors@usa.com.